Good evening, good night, wherever you are. Today is a special day. It's an exclusive day today at Love Bay Radio. Love Bay Radio family, we got an exclusive interview, a really amazing interview on this Friday. So stay tuned, buckle up. We have some very important champions, trailblazers, community leaders that are here to meet with us and for us to have a real conversation. So this is outside of the normal, but it's pretty exclusive. So that's why you're here. As you know, every time we're together, we have intentional and real conversations. And today is no different. We're going to have a real conversation. And so, as we always say, let me just tell you about who is here. All right. So today on the champions table, we have some special guests. We have Gwen Chapman, and she is a part of the City of Brampton's Black Empowerment Unit, Community Voice Consultations. And we also have some community leaders. We have Sophia Waterman, and we have Marjorie, and we have some more coming. So we have a group of champions that will be with us today as we have an intentional conversation and listen and find out about the wonderful things that are happening in Brampton. So let me tell you a little bit about Gwen Chapman. She is a community champion and leader. She is a community and human rights advocate, TV producer, and the lead of the City of Brampton's Black Empowerment Unit. And then I'll have the rest of the folks who are here tell us who they are. But before I get there, I'm going to tell you about this initiative. So this initiative captures the voices and needs of Brampton's Black community. The information gathered will be used to develop a 5-year action plan for the City of Brampton and to further the advancement of the Black community and eradicate systemic anti-Black racism. The Black Community Voice Consultation focuses on key pillars of community advancement, including economic empowerment, civic engagement, youth development, social and cultural development. This process will be facilitated by logical outcomes who will work closely with the City of Brampton staff to ensure the methodologies align with both the lived realities of the Black community and the city's broader equity, diversity, and inclusion strategy. So please join me in welcoming these champions to the table. All right, so we have Gwen. We have Miss Gwen. I consider you all my elders, but we have Gwen. We have hold on. Where's everybody going?
I'm glad you didn't consider me an elder. Or did you just say that? Did you consider me an elder?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that to you. Not to you. No. But we have Gwen, we have Sophia, and we have Marjorie. Welcome to the Champions Table. Welcome to Love Bay Radio family. You are family here. Gwen, I know you are family here. This is nothing new for you. You are a veteran in this space. So I welcome you here. So let's go into it. Let's start off. I'll start off with Sophia. Please tell us who you are and how you are connected to this great movement.
Hi, thank you for this opportunity with the BEU unit. For me, I am a resident of Brampton for the last 17 years. Well, but I've been living here before. And being part of the committee or the group that is bringing information that will change our Black community is of great importance, and being here is a privilege. So thank you for the opportunity, Gwen. Thank you, Miss Marjorie. Back to you, Nigel.
Thank you. Miss Marjorie, yes.
Hello. Yes, I'm Marjorie Taylor, and definitely of the senior vintage. I've been living in Brampton since 1981, and I've always been involved in the community. I'll mention two of the main communities to which I'm affiliated, and that's the United Achievers Club of Brampton, which was established in 1980, and also a member of the Brampton Kiwanis. But I do a lot of collaborating with numerous other organizations and with, you know, initiatives of the city of Brampton. So I'm a consummate volunteer, and you know, I'm happy to be here to you know, to give input as you know, necessary. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you both for the work that you have done in investing in the community of Brampton and with our people as well. All right, Gwen,
Yes.
please share with us.
Okay, where do we start? So today, where do
Wherever
we
you want
start?
to,
We have
wherever
so
you
many
want
good things to talk about.
to. Well, tell me about you first, because you know, you are, you know, as I have been told, and I've seen you in different spaces, but you are not only the lead, but you are an advocate, community advocate, as well as human rights advocate. So tell us about you first before we get into what we're here to talk about.
Sure, absolutely. So I am from the most beautiful island in the Caribbean, St. Lucia.
Okay,
First of
let's
all,
go, Alicia.
I always feel like I have to big up my little island because, you know, Jamaica is always, as Marjorie says, it seems like Jamaica is the best. But, you know, give us little island people a little bit of a break, please. Um, anyhow, first of all, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. It's so nice always to be able to connect with our community, our people. I feel that we have so much warmth, we have so much love, we have so much laughter, and so much to share with each other. So, you know, just by being together, we inspire each other. And, you know, this is what life is all about. I just want to start off with talking about my amazing father, Mr. Cyril Matthew. He's no longer with me physically. He's passed on. He's done his time, and he's back with his creator. However, he's with me every day in spirit. And my father taught us that, you know, we have to look after each other. This was something that was very, very critical and very, very much emphasized in our upbringing in St. Lucia. So growing up with a lot of love, growing up with a sense of pride of who we are, and understanding that we are all born on purpose and we're here to do great things. And it's not just about us, but it's about how much we can impact the lives of others around us. And, you know, my father instilled that sense of responsibility for each other. And he was my biggest everything. Like I always say, he consumed and he filled up 95% of my heart. He was such a beautiful man, a beautiful father and a mentor to so many people. And, you know, he was the one who really embodied love and taught us a lot about how God sees us, right? And the love that we have to give to others. So I always talk about him. I'm going to just try to stop right now because I could go on about this beautiful person. I just have to say, though, he was also given, I think it was Her Majesty's Order of the British Empire. So that shows the level of sacrifice and work that he did for the Commonwealth in terms of economic and social development. And so I'm his child, and I'm also about my father's business, my father on earth and my father in heaven, because I do also believe that I was born to make a difference. And that sense of responsibility is very important to me. So I live my life in a way where I try to remind our people of their greatness, right? Remind our people that we've been here since the beginning of time. So be careful about the nonsense that you absorb about what negative people are, who I call negative negatrons, say about our people and our community and our children. We have to remind everyone that, hey, we come from a legacy of greatness, right? So I am here to empower my community, to help organize my community and make sure that I remind them too of what they can do once we're able to work together. We have a responsibility, and like I always say, I believe that we are the salt of the earth. We have a certain depth about our people that whenever we are or wherever we are, we contribute greatly to society. And our middle name is resilient.
Come on.
Our middle name is resilient. So if you feel like you want to be empowered and that you want to grow and you really want to be part of this human, I guess, endeavor, which is to try to bring equality and fairness to everyone, understanding that everyone, every community has something amazing to offer this world, right? So this is what we are. This is who I am. And I continue that legacy of upliftment and doing whatever it takes to make sure that our people are reminded and they act like the great kings and queens that they are. So that's a little bit about me.
Oh,
Now,
come on.
back to
That was good. That was good. You know, let me hold on. Let me ask you. I'm gonna ask you another question now. So, TV producer, tell us about that. Tell TV producer, because I see that there as well. So you've talked about the human rights community and human rights advocate and where that passion comes from. So tell us a little bit about the TV producer, and then we'll get into the meat of the matter.
okay, the meat of the matter. I like these MMs. Okay, sounds
Yeah.
good. Meat of the matter, money.
Yeah.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying
Yeah.
to reach economic development.
Yeah.
Economic development, again, is one of our key aspirations to help us get out of the status that we are so that we're able to really do what we can do for our community and for our youth, economic development. So we'll get into that later. With regards to the television, it's funny that you asked that. I was about 14, I think, 14 or 15 years old, living in Ottawa, realized and couldn't understand why so many young people were committing suicide. And there are a lot of indigenous people, there are a lot of white Canadian, but also some of our own community, young people from our own community committing suicide. And it was always on the news. I couldn't understand what was happening. So I said, what can I do to bring like the teachers, guidance counselors, the parents and students to come together to talk about what is going on so that we're able to find a way to help these young people. And so it's out of me wanting to help. And I asked my co-op teacher, please, can you put me into a TV station to get an opportunity to do something special? And there's something special, I thought, if we're able to bring people together in a classroom to talk about what's going on, well, what about if I bring that group on television? It then could reach a whole lot more people. And therefore, more people would be enlightened. More young people would understand that what they're going through, whether it's depression or feeling lonely or whatever the case, that there's hope. And there are other people who are going through it as well. And so there's a way out. So that's what led me to television. I was like the person who just cleaned up the studio. But one day I decided to type a little letter and ask the studio manager to allow for me to have this kind of a production. I didn't know anything about television. And they gave me the studio. They gave me people to help. And lo and behold, it happened. Now, I didn't know anything about television, but the cameras were in place. And I saw then he was called Dr. Howard McCurdy, who was the first Black MP for the NDP party. He was in Parliament, and I used to see him just firing off some just amazing oratory skills and information, and he was an advocate in Parliament. And I thought, oh my God, who's this man? I bumped into him by accident, and I asked him to be on the show. Janelle Skerritt, who's one of our incredible leaders at the time, she was a journalism student at Carleton University. I'm not sure how I met her, but I asked her to be a part of the show, to bring some positive words at the end of the program. And Dr. Agard, who's passed on, Ralph Agard, who was a psychologist, he was also on the show. So I did what I could. And thinking about it now, I don't know how I did it, but I, looking at the wrong cameras, swaying my chairs, and doing all kinds of things that an inexperienced person would have done and a young person. But all these opportunities are important because it allows me to share that with young people, to let them know you don't need to always have it right, but you got to follow your heart and you got to try something because when you try something, then you could build on it. So that's how my little television career started. And I started to do a whole lot of shows after that. And I got into studying production and journalism, and the list goes on. So after that, I was able to get jobs with like CTV. I worked CTV National on an on-air daily program. We did documentaries and so forth. So the history is long, but my passion has always been my people, my community, and I've tried to use television to highlight the best of the community. So that's it for TV. Now we get into the meat of the conversation.
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. So follow your dreams, audience, and it's when you have that, they say, write the vision, make it plain, right? So it's always good to be a visionary, and to when you have these things that are sometimes put in your heart to do, you got to follow through with them, and they will eventually come to pass. All right, let's get into the meat of the matter. So just to recap, there is a amazing opportunity happening in the city of Brampton, and the group that is doing it is these community leaders here, and it's called the Black Empowerment Unit Community's Voice Consultation. And what it does, it captures the voices and needs of Brampton's Black community. The information is gathered and will be used to develop a 5-year action plan for the city of Brampton, and to further the advancement of the Black community, and to eradicate systemic and anti-Black racism. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll start with this question. Here's my first question for you. What is the city's broader equity, diversity, and inclusion strategy?
So that would include everything having to do with anti-hate, making sure that we look after that, the indigenous file. There are many other portfolios under the the equity strategy. But what we're here to talk about is the specific one having to do with the Black community in Brampton. So let me walk you through that very quickly. The Black Empowerment Unit is a unit that's responsible for the Black economic, social, cultural, youth, and civic development of the city of Brampton. Okay, that motion was passed to develop the unit with the councillors in 2020, and led by Mayor Patrick Brown, and MPP Charmaine Williams also was a part of pushing that forward. So the unit had existed for about 1.5 years, and then it dissolved into the Equity Office, which was formed. Now, I have been tasked to come back to the unit, which I led in 2023. And the priority at the time, I'm not sure if you remember, but there was a crisis with the asylum seekers being homeless here in Toronto. Right. So we led the work having to do with advocacy and making sure that shelter was provided, and the well-being of our asylum seekers, our brothers and sisters from the continent, was looked after, with many organizations and many amazing volunteers throughout Ontario, including these two champions that you're seeing there. So the unit is responsible, like I said, for the economic, the social, cultural, youth development, overall development. One of our tasks, the first responsibility that we have, is to develop an action plan that focuses on the needs of the Black community and Black staff. So we understand the message of nothing about us without us. Nothing about us without us. If we are honest, and as a city, we say that we want to serve our Black community better, we are tasked to respectfully speak with them to find out what the gaps may be, what their needs are, and how we can work together with the community to ensure that the city is doing the best they can to serve the Black community. So as a result of that first very important initiative, which is what's happening right now, we have a group and an amazing group of professionals who we have sanctioned to assist us with the many consultations throughout the city. And these two ladies here, they are part of the advisory group, and they are community leaders who've been here for many, many years doing amazing work. So this consultation is taking place right now, and we have one more opportunity for folk to be a part of it. And this is why we're coming on your dynamic program to make sure that we can use this platform to share how important it is for our community to participate, to let their voices be heard, to help to shape the recommendations that's going to come out of this report and this exercise. And we have this last opportunity, December the 4th, at City Hall in the atrium in person. And the way they are able to be a part of that is simply by registering to be a part of it. RSVP, very easy. Send an email to BEU@brampton.ca. I'm not sure if you could type it up somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking about. If we could type that up so that that could be going on throughout our
right,
so
that would be wonderful. So it's again BEU@brampton.ca. So send an email, just register, give us your name, and we will count you as part of the participants for that December the 4th, Thursday, from 6 to 9:30. We will feed you some nice West Indian or African or whatever food, and we will have a great time doing this. And I'm telling you, this is the most important thing the city of Brampton has ever done, I feel, for the Black community, the taxpayers, yes, in Brampton, who's, for the most part, I feel, from what I've listened, from what has been shared and shared over a period of time, long period of time, our Black community needs to feel more included. There's a lot that we have to offer, and I always say the Black community is sort of like the best kept secret in Canada. The untapped talent, the dynamic opportunities that they can create just by giving us a break, breaking the barriers.
So let's share that again. Thank you for saying that. So once again, those who are listening, December 4th, and I believe that is a Thursday, right?
Thursday, 6 to 9:30.
All right. So December 4th, 6 to 9:30. You got to join this group here. And how you can sign up for this is BEU@brampton.ca. So those who are listening, okay, it's up there right in the corner for you to sign up. So please, if you're listening right now, sign up. When we post this up again, you're going to see it on there. Click on it, sign up so you can be there in the building and have your voice heard. All right. That's awesome. All right. So I'm going to continue with our conversation. And
just can I make a clarification? Just
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So the Black Empowerment Unit is at City Hall. These are awesome trailblazers that you see at the bottom, the leaders.
Yes.
They are community members. And so we try to work with those. This is all voluntary. They're all volunteering.
Right.
So we try to work with them. And we can't do our work without involving the community leaders and volunteers, right? So just want to make it clear that they're not part of the Black Empowerment Unit being paid staff at the city.
Right.
They are leaders and longtime committed volunteers who work with us because they understand the importance of participating and making that positive change.
So you are answering, I think you're answering by what you just said. I think you're answering the question that I was just about to ask.
Okay.
So they represent, clarify this for me. I think you've clarified it. They represent the lived realities of the Black community in Brampton.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So they are the ones that represent that and are speaking towards the lived realities of the Black community.
Yes. Yes. They are our advisors, and they mobilize and they encourage people to participate. They organize and they do a whole lot of things that we have not done and possibly cannot do at times. Right. So they're awesome.
Right. That's awesome. Okay. So that leads right into my question. So how does the Black Empowerment Unit ensure the methodologies align with the lived realities of the Black community?
So that's the key thing. This is what we're doing now,
Right.
and why it's important. Nothing about us
You're
without us,
gathering
right?
the information to find out how it can align with those things.
Sorry? Yes,
You're
yes,
gathering the
absolutely.
information now. Right.
Yes. So that's what we're doing. That's why it's so important, and we're urging everyone. We're doing our part at the city. We're saying, how can we help you? The mayor has been behind this. He's one of our key allies, and he's under his leadership. This stuff is happening. It's under his leadership. This is happening. So we're saying again, everyone, please, this is your opportunity to let your voices be heard. And for the most part, we want you to understand, I wouldn't say this is like a once in a long time, not a lifetime, but this is a once in a long time opportunity, because we're focusing on developing a 5-year action plan. And leadership is everything. Mayor Patrick Brown has opened up Brampton, has supported the Black community. He understands the importance of inclusivity. He is someone who's a humanitarian and believes that everybody should have equal opportunity to contribute to this society, to make a difference in this community, and also to be able to look after their children and their families. He wants to see people prosper and grow, and he's all about progress, right? Progress and giving people a chance for them to be identified, to be seen. And so we want to take advantage of the leadership. We want to take advantage of the staff that's within the city of Brampton, who are also passionate about this work. And I mean, I've been at it for over 40 years, volunteering since I was a child, since I was a kid, right? So it's a paid job I'm at right now, but still, it makes no difference. This is not a job to me. This is a calling. And I am someone that believe in my community, and I understand the beauty that that we have, the power that we have, the amazing energy that we have, and all the good things that we have that needs to be exposed, that needs to be out there, right? So that we could all benefit from the Black community's contribution. And let's not go back to the beginning of time. A lot of what everybody's enjoying now, a lot of people are enjoying, are direct results of Black innovation, Black inventions. Going back to the beginning of time, the dynasties that have been created, and these are things that we seem to forget. We are going to win when
So,
every single
Gwen,
person is able
one
to
second.
contribute.
If you can put that, can you put the flyer back up, please? Can you put the flyer back up?
Okay.
If you can put the flyer back up quickly. I just want to give people some details so they can scan the QR code right now.
Okay, good.
Can you put the flyer back up, please? Because while they're watching this, they can actually just scan the QR code and sign up.
Right.
Talking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And our website is
what-
brampton.ca/BEU.
Yeah.
You can get all the information there. So let's
All right,
see.
there it comes up. All right, so this is the flyer here. So if you
Yep.
are watching right now, just take your phone out and scan the QR code to register, and then you will get that information there directly on your phone. Okay, all the information is there. Thursday, December 4th, 2025, 6 to 9 p.m. at the City Hall Atrium, 2 Wellington Street West, and that's downtown Brampton. Just use your QR code right now. Or screenshot this, but you can literally scan it as we speak so that you can register and be there in person so your voice can be heard. As it says on the flyer, speak up, shape your future. All right. So we will get back to the conversation. Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Awesome. So here we go. I got a couple of questions, and we've talked about it a little bit. So I read about the key pillars. Let's get into them and get into a little bit more details about them. So one of the key pillars is community advancement. Anyone here? So either Gwen or Sophia or Marjorie, any of you on the community advancement. So what is what is that pillar about, and how is that going to impact the community, our community, the Black community? Does anybody want to speak on
Yeah.
community advancement?
So Marjorie, I think you definitely can answer or add something to this in terms of, when we talk about community advancement. I mean, there are a lot of areas that we can touch on, but for you who have been here so long doing this work, what does community advancement mean for you? This is why I've asked both of you to be here to speak on, from your perspective. And yeah, go ahead.
Well, thank you. This is on the fly, but I would say that for me, community advancement is so capturing the talents, that and our community has to offer. Brampton and Peel region in general. We have a lot of talent. I've as I said, I've been here since 1981, and I've seen various changes, various mayors, and I do believe that we have, the expertise or people of Black, Caribbean, African descent, have the capacity, the education, the professionalism, the heart to take advantage of all we have to offer in this community. And I think that with the team in place of the BEU, with the mayors and the counselors encouragement, I do believe that our community members can work together to bring this to the fore. So
yeah, and I
that's
just yeah,
pardon me.
yeah,
To bring this to the fore.
yeah, and that's good. And so I just want to clarify too, the pillars that we've identified is within the name of the unit. So the 5 pillars are economic, social, cultural, youth, and civic development.
Yeah.
So we can start with like civic development. We know that there's a lot more work that we have to do in terms of understanding the political realm and the political importance of getting involved. And as I've said many times, if we don't, as a Black community, respect our political power, those in power will not respect us. If we do not,
one more time.
if we do not respect our political power, those in power will not respect us.
Yeah. Okay.
So we understand that that is an untapped power that we haven't really effectively used in the past. So we are aware that much education, much encouragement needs to happen to understand and get our communities and family and youth involved in the political process.
Okay, so I want you to break that down a little bit more. Break it down a little bit more so people know exactly what you mean when you're saying this. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Marjorie, he's very you're very passionate about this. I can tell.
Yeah.
He wants the nitty-gritty. Okay, so when we talk about political power, we're talking about simple things like understanding where we vote, when we vote, how we vote. That's important. We need to be able to take that little voting power and speak to it. So understanding that whether it's our MP or MPP or city councilor, we can go to these people and say, you know what? If you're not going to fix A, B, C, or D, or if you're not going to support us as we need to, well, guess what? You will not get my vote.
Yep.
That is kryptonite when you say that to a politician, right? And so little things like that, that's one tiny thing, understanding the power of your vote. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
very, very important. You may feel, oh, it's just one little vote and it's myself. No, 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 no. There's a lot. There's magic in that one vote. That
Mhm.
vote has so much power. It would take us 2 hours to kind of define all the power that's in that one little vote. And
Yep.
knowing how to speak to that power. Understanding the importance as well of putting your hat forward to represent your communities. And when we say your communities, not just Black communities, is your community wherever you live,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
have to be courageous and we have to get a sense of that responsibility, understanding that we have the talent, the wherewithal, and the know how to run for office, to
Yep.
represent properly, to be effective, right? And so it allows us again to be included in the process.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would
Um,
like to add to that, just to what you're saying. One of the things that we have to be aware of is that we it's our right to vote, and it's also our right and responsibility to ask those who are running for these offices, as you said, what are they doing for the community? And we as a community have to be aware of what are our needs as a community, so we can ask the right questions to these constituents and see if they're gonna really, back up what they're saying. You know what I mean? So that's very, very important. And yes, you can put your hat in there and be a politician as well, but you also have to be aware of your community, not just the Black community, but the community that you live in. You have to
yes.
be aware of what are the needs of your neighbors and what are the needs of the people around you, so that you can really meet those needs when you are in that position. So yeah, very
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, we there's a lot that we can do when we talk about understand the political process and the things that we have to start teaching our children the importance of voting and getting involved and volunteering on campaigns, and also very critical to be a part of a party. We encourage young people to take your little friends, four of you guys, ask your parents for some money, whether it's $15, to join a party. Because when you join a party, you understand the processes of how things work in this society. It
Mhm.
is a huge advantage, and it allows you to be present. It allows you to be at the table when decisions are being made. It allows you so much opportunity that otherwise, if you do not join a party, you are missing out on a gold mine.
Mhm. Wow.
Can I piggyback on that as well? Piggyback on that. What I think as well that we need to do is to have committees in the school where young people can start, act out political parties, act out, have little committees. So listen, I am this party, you're that party. Have little um, to say, for lack of a better word, little events that they're pretending that they're actually political parties against each other, rivalry against each other. Teach them, how do I put the X? Where do I put it? So have them actively involved before throwing them in the lines then. So when they do get to the age when they can do it, they already know, they already understand what they need to do, and then they put that vote based on their education throughout the months, throughout the years. But
Yeah.
I think opening is something that young people can go to and
Mhm.
practice, learn, develop themselves in the political realm as a
Yeah.
civic part of it,
Mhm.
and get
Mhm.
them out when they're ready to be
Yeah.
giants in their own world. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
raised a critical point. I know right now I'm in the education field, so I know right now that they do the voting. Like they do during when we are having elections, they do have mock elections in the school, and they do that. But the part that you're bringing up, which is really important, is what they should do is they should have students in the school who represent the leader of the NDP, the leader of the conservative, the leader of the green, the leader of the liberal, and have those same students speak on what are these needs, what are you say, why should people vote for you as if you're representing the Liberal Party, why should they vote for you if you're representing the Conservative Party, and say these speeches to the entire school, and then have the school vote based on that, so that they get that critical thinking and understanding of, okay, this is why we're voting for this particular person. And then when that person is in place, they now will be like, okay, are you going to actually carry out A, B, and C that you talked about when we voted for you? You know what I mean? So they get that lived experience as we're talking about. the lived reality of what this civic engagement is, right? So yeah, that's really good.
Amazing. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I just want to just point out. So the civic engagement is one pillar, or one pillar. There's economic, which is huge. There's
Yeah,
our
let's talk
youth.
about that. Let's talk about that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
How much time do we have to talk about that? Because
We
did you want to touch the others, or is that okay? You just
um,
tell me.
I do want to touch economic, and we can talk about youth development. Those two I
Youth.
definitely want to talk about.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, Marjorie was like, "Yep, that's her thing." Oh yeah, we're all on the youth. Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
we can
youth
do
part
youth
is huge.
first. We can do youth first, and then end with economic. We can do that.
Let's go with economic, and then we'll talk about our babies and our children.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
economic, vital, critical.
Mhm.
It's everything, right? What we have to remember is that there are other groups and other communities that also face racism, but not to the extent that we face racism in the Black community. The thing that they may have going for them is that they've got businesses, they've got an economic grounding and foundation where they are able to employ their own, they're able to build, and we are not there yet. So the economic aspect of what we are having to do is again is critical. We've got to focus on finding ways to create as many opportunities for entrepreneurial development for businesses, and that is very important. That right there is the key responsibility that will help even with our youth, right? But overall our community. So the emphasis on job creation and being job creators, right? Employing our own and employ our own children and young people, very important. And we have
Mhm.
to find ways to build partnerships and work with organizations, with government, et cetera, private companies, et cetera, to find a way forward and create some type of a high level strategy or understanding or vision to make sure that we are developing businesses, we are bringing wealth into our community, because that is key.
Yeah.
Imagine you're head of the household, but you have no income. You're head of the household and you have 4 or 5 children, but you cannot provide for them. This is what's happening with us right now. And
Mhm.
we
Mhm.
no longer afford to um, do what we've been doing. We have to go a little bit beyond and be very innovative, right? And be very strategic and partner and bring our I'll say all our talents and whatnot together, because the idea is we're very rich when it comes to talent. We're very rich when it comes to innovation, education, and so on. But we are in different spaces. So the challenge, which we will take on and we will succeed, is to start bringing all our expertise, all our richness, and our innovation and our brilliance together.
Yeah.
Once we're able to do that, it's look out, because there's nothing that we will not be able to accomplish once we start putting our strengths and our resources together. So this is a very critical and important part of our work in terms of leadership, is bringing all our communities together so that we could focus on the bigger goal of economic empowerment.
So you raise a powerful point, and it connects to civic engagement as well, right? Because if you have economic power, you will also have the voice or the listening ear of the politician, right? If you
Yeah,
have economic power, right?
yeah,
And as a community, the more economic power and economic creation we build legacy for our community, and we
mm,
also build a voice that needs to be heard, right? It's
yes.
not they can't not listen to us when we have economic power,
Yeah.
right?
And
So
yeah, absolutely. But I
yeah.
want to just add something here, because I've heard this from many people before. Yes, if we have money and we have that economic power, we can influence. But I want us to also remember, even though we're in a stage now where we may not be as resourceful financially as possible as most communities. But listen, don't get it twisted. Our participation in the process, our volunteering, our speaking up, our advocating, our being a part of insisting on various legislation, various policies to be developed, our participation in every way is also extremely important and extremely powerful. So
Right.
we're working on that. We're working on trying to encourage our community to be a part. Everyone, you got to be a part of a party.
Right.
Doesn't matter who or what, and you got to bring your friends. Be a part of a party. Everyone sign up for a party. Whatever party that you feel represents you, sign up. Get involved in the process, because when you do that, even as a volunteer and being able to mobilize votes, being able to influence people, you need people on the ground. You need people who are very, very committed. You need people who are advocates for the right cause, to be able to speak up and to not back down, but to be able to back up, to push forward, to insist on what it is that we need. We are going to demand, as members of the community, as citizens, as taxpayers, as people who represent certain communities, that we are going to demand that our wish and our wants, which are, you know, for the most part reasonable, will
Yeah.
be met. So let's not think that there's nothing that we can do and we have to wait till our community is filthy rich or has a whole lot of money. No, no, no. If that happens, when it happens, that's a plus. But let's not just forget all the other pluses that we have and make sure that we utilize that. So I just
For
wanted
sure.
to slip that
Thank
in
you.
there.
Thank you.
And
I see we have another champion that has joined us.
Yes.
If you can just share your name with us, another community leader has joined us. If you can share your name with us and tell us who you are, what you do, the great work that you are all doing.
Yes, thank you so much. My name is Akin Oduton. I'm a community leader in Nigerian community in Brampton. I'm also a board member to the Roots Community Services in Brampton. And I'm also involved in the BEU, Black Empowerment Unit with Goanet. And yeah, that's basically what I do and some other things. Thank you.
Thank you for
It's very,
being here, man, and we
very
appreciate
modest.
and salute you for the work that you do in the community, as well as these other champions that are here. Awesome, awesome. I wanted to say something before I forget, and as we transition into the youth development, a lot of the systemic things that we see in the community that people complain about are as they say, it is a symptom. It's not the actual what's happening. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
if we can really impact when we talk about economic empowerment, if we can get kids civically engaged, or the young people, or I would call them generation now, if we can get them
Yeah.
engaged, civically engaged, and economic empowerment in our communities, a lot of these systemic things that we're seeing won't exist. They will truly not exist. So I just wanted to say that before we get into the youth development. So let's talk about that.
Yeah. So you know what? There's nothing that's supposed to be as important to us than our youth and our children.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Which is where I lay my hat
Let me
off
say this
to.
real quick. Let me say this real quick. This conversation is for anyone can jump in. Anyone can jump in. I know the gentleman who just came in probably didn't hear me say that, but anyone can jump in and add to our conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was saying this is one of the reasons why I respect the iconic Marjorie Taylor beside us. Her years of commitment to our young people, just incredible. Okay. So
Yeah.
think of our, first of all, I say all the children, all the youth are our children.
Yeah.
Period. And that's what we need to embrace. The children and the young people in Canada belong to us. They are our responsibility. And, there are so many households that the parents have 2 and 3 jobs juggling. Now, we know as a village, as a community, we need to look out for each other. We need to embrace the children. And one of the things, like I've said, I just have so much respect for Marjorie, is her long-time commitment when it comes to youth empowerment and development. But we need to pay special attention to our youth. The justice system, they don't belong inside that place. They
Yep.
don't belong in the detention centers. And when you go into, I ask everybody to just go visit and talk to some young people in those detention centers. You see, these are innocent children who, for lack of whether it's guidance or whatever the case is, they're in a place where they don't belong. And you see within themselves the lack of confidence and the lack of feeling like they're valued. Listen, it is difficult, and there's a lot of pressure and mental stress that we undergo as Black people in this kind of country. There is racism; it's real, and I've always said, it doesn't make any sense for us to be having to carry the weight of racism on a daily basis, right? Now, imagine young people who are just born and growing and have no real sense, true sense of themselves, having also to deal with the constant negative messages of who they are. Why are we so threatening because of this beautiful brown body, this beautiful Black body that we are blessed to be in, right?
Mhm.
So I believe that at this time, there's a tsunami of things that could happen if we do not make it intentional to do whatever we can to make sure the children and the young people around us in our community get the proper support they need in order for their confidence to be built, for them to succeed in school, and for them to find ways to even get over the constant negativity and weight of racism that these young people have to endure on a daily basis.
Yep.
Unfortunately, there is also racism within the school system.
Yeah, yeah.
That is unacceptable. So we cannot leave our children for others to look after, because others won't look after them. We as a collective and as a village and as a community need to look after them. And we want to make sure with the unit that we partner with as many organizations as possible, get into the schools, make our presence be felt, make sure that we get our young people to be mentored, and also for everyone who has a professional anything to offer, please, to get into the schools. Let our young people see you. Let them see this image of what they could aspire to be. We had a wonderful youth summit at the city of Brampton yesterday, and it was powerful. Young people were amazed to see the professionals that were speaking to them on stage. They felt so inspired to see these people. They need to see more of us, and they need to be supported properly. Marjorie, I'll leave it over to you because I know she has a lot to share on
Well,
that.
I won't monopolize the conversation, but I was speaking to Gwen earlier, and one of the things over the years that I think has been very successful and which seems to be in abeyance, we talk about it a lot as community members, but our mentoring these students. I know that the government or the municipalities and those entities, we could, they could offer services that would enable us, like facilities for rental and that sort of thing at reasonable costs. But as a community, we have to stop working in silos, and the mentorship should start in the elementary grades,
Mhm.
definitely. And it's not just about mentoring the students, but mentoring the parents,
Yeah.
because some of our community members are not, they needed skills, some skills that are lacking in mentoring their students. And we have to lose this um, uh, situation in which we, in terms of how we converse with each other, how we understand each other without thinking that somebody's insulting us. So, there's a big part that needs to be played by the members of our community in order to facilitate, helping our students. Over the years, I've interviewed, hundreds and hundreds of um, students going on to university, and even at that level they can use some mentoring, but it's very essential that we start at the grassroots level, and some organizations are doing their part, they're um, but I find that it's still in silos. Like if four organizations are doing mentoring, why can't they collaborate and help our students this way, yeah, so there's much we can ask of the government, but there's still much we can ask of ourselves as a community to help our young folks progress. And I find too that very few of our organizations um, are motivated, maybe because they feel out of depth, but in terms of the young people who are, involved with, deviant behaviors or with the law process. I can only think of one organization that really is pushing relentlessly for this, and that's Rescue. And we need more people to help Rescue to stay in business, to stay as an organization, to be able to afford their rental facilities. They need our support because they are one of the main ones that are specifically dealing our youth who are in contact with the law in a negative way.
So Marjorie, just enlighten us about what is rescue. Like, can you just give us a little details about this?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not a member of Rescue, but I'm
Yeah.
a supporter since they came into existence over 20 odd years ago.
Right.
And they, I think, reach each student quickly. That's what Rescue means, reaching each student quickly.
Right.
And, I wasn't set up here to talk about Rescue, but as I said, this is one of the organizations that primarily deals with kids who are,
who have been in trouble with the law and so forth. Is that?
yes,
So
yes,
it's almost like a
or
reintegration.
trouble or on the verge or could,
Right.
have this contact, right? And you know,
So either deterring them from it or reintegrating them into not going back into that type of thing.
or prior to that,
Or
they
prior.
have psychological mentoring there and that sort of thing. So I just thought I'd mention that in particular, but more people need to see that there are these major issues, and it's not just, we tend to, from my perspective, speaking for myself, we tend to, I wouldn't say the easier path, because giving scholarships is great.
Yeah.
But these kids are already on their way. And so my takeaway, my suggestion tonight is that we focus a bit more on the mentorship, besides the economic situation, but in terms of the youth. And I know that the city is doing a great job, with the sessions that they have had and the kids, but we have a lot of kids that are in need. I just thought I'd say that.
So two things I want to ask you real quick. First thing is you mentioned elementary. How early do you think mentorship should start as far as elementary?
Well,
talking grade 2? Are we talking grade 3? Are we talking?
Well, I'm not a teacher or a psychologist, but you might have a better idea. But,
you have the experience, yeah.
Well, I'm not a teacher, but what I'm saying is, but I've raised 3 boys, but sons, I should say. They're I say boys anymore because
they're grown now. They're grown.
They're grown, so I keep saying sons. But I would say from as early as possible, in little ways, just to give them that ability to have confidence in themselves and to raise their self, knowledge of
Identity. Yeah.
themselves and their identity. And so we need people, not necessarily as teachers, professional, getting paid. How do we get like grandmas and stuff like that to assist in to integrate them into the school so that they can, in a voluntary capacity. I don't know how one would do this, but
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
don't think that's done.
Thank you for sharing that. All right. So my question to everyone now is there a youth advisory board that's in place so that you can hear directly from the youth when it comes to when we talk about what is the word that we used? Yeah, the live realities of the Black community. Is there a youth advisory board that is also going to be able to voice these things so that we can have this youth
Yeah.
development and youth
Yeah.
engagement from their voices? Yeah.
Process, yeah. So part of the consultation, we
Yeah.
focused on a number of different areas, and we've had like in-depth conversations, and we've had online surveys and conversations there too. So we have spoken in depth to young people who have been homeless, thanks to organizations like Rest Centers. We've had conversations with youth at risk, um, youth in general, and we've done quite a bit of consultations with young people. So we again have gathered data from them. We've gathered data from the seniors. We've gathered data from the homeowners and folks with businesses and entrepreneurs and people interested in the social aspects of what's happening. So the part of the consultation has been to create these many different conversations to collect the information of these areas that we've had identified. And that's how we're able to really understand the gaps and what the community is asking for and so forth. So yes, absolutely. We've had several conversations with young people, and we have some very interesting plans for the community, even in terms of um, creating a Black youth leadership council, right? To work with the city as part of the city, to make sure the voices of young people are heard. And we hope to mesh that with an overall council committee that's going to be representing the Black community in Brampton, so that again, that group is able to work with the city and hold us accountable and make sure that the 5-year action plan and what the community's been asking for, the work is being done, and the support in terms of the advisory role that is also there. So we are making sure that we're extremely thorough about what we do. And because this is a family situation for me personally and many others, this is not just work. For me, this is I'm trying to, and we are trying to look after our family. And we know when it comes to family how we are. We're very intentional. We put our hearts and soul into everything, and we make sure that we don't leave any stone unturned to be certain that we're giving the best that we have. We're doing the best that we can at this time. So the next generation or the next person to take on the baton, we expect that the passion, the intention, the seriousness is also there. But again, this is not just paid work and some superficial thing. No, we're talking about our people. And we believe in our people, we love our people, and we want to make sure that we find ways to uplift everyone and remind everybody about the greatness and the beauty of being from, I would say, the diaspora, the African diaspora. We all come from the motherland, and so we are brothers and sisters keeper. One of the things that Akin here can talk on also is the importance of understanding the various communities from various parts of the world, and why it's so important for us to try to find ways to bring each other together, to learn about each other, and stop all this division, craziness, divide and conquer thing. We got to start to unite and build. So unite and build, unite and build, unite. And that's how we're only going to build our community, by uniting, bringing all our power, our strengths, our everything together. We basically don't need anybody else but ourselves. We never needed anybody else outside our community. All we needed was each other. All we needed was each other. That's why uniting right? And breaking those barriers of division, creating more bridges, and seeing ourselves in each other, understanding the heaviness of anti-Black racism, what it's caused us mentally, emotionally, etc., what it's caused us to hate ourselves, and then we end up hating each other. We end up hurting each other because we are tired, we are hurt. We have to give each other space and room and be a little bit more compassionate, understanding when people come at us within our community, it's not that they really want to, but it's because of what's inside, right? And just as people said, I mean, even the Bible says, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. People give you what they have. So it's almost like when we see people doing bad things or trying to attack us or try to create discourse, it's almost like the more you need to love them. And I remember Mayor Patrick Brown always talking about, when people be attacking and going on negative about situations and things, just complaining, he'll be like, just give them a little bit more love. They need love. Just love them off. It's okay. Forgive. Just try to see the better of them. Just love them off. I mean, that that Mayor Brown is an amazing person, and he's so optimistic, and he believes in people.
Big shouts to Patrick Brown, the mayor
Yeah.
of Brampton. He's doing some amazing work and really connecting with the community and really hearing from the community. I have a question, though. Not really a question. I really want to hear from our brother that joined us,
Akeem.
Akeem.
Akeem. Mm-hmm.
Akeem.
Yeah.
So you are from the Nigerian community, correct?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So I would like you to speak on what I've learned and what I've experienced, especially from the Nigerian community, the level of resilience from the Nigerian community. I've experienced, I've admired. What does the Nigerian community do to keep this resiliency, this strength, regardless of where they are, whether they're in North America, whether they're in Germany, Netherlands, wherever they are, they still hold to this level of striving and accomplishing success.
Yeah. Thank you so much. The Nigerian community, it's so vast, but but let me just first say something about what Gwinnett, the question about the youth.
Yeah.
We as the adults we need to be intentional in mentoring. I know Majori mentioned it. We need to be intentional in mentoring our youth, and we need to draw them closer, even from apart from the community, even from home. We need to let them know that they are needed. I mean, they are people that we want to relate with. I have 4 boys, and I always tell them that they need to have their own brand. I mean, when I say brand, they need to have confidence in themselves, as Gwyneth and Majori have said earlier. They need to have confidence in themselves. So, back to your question now.
That's a powerful statement you just made, though. Have your own brand. That's powerful. But continue.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, let me go back to that. Because the youth, they like to copy, especially as they grow. So if there's no one to model before them that they can be who they are created to be, some of them have tremendous potentials, skills. But because they don't have the confidence on themselves, they can't bring out their own brand. I tell my boys, you can be the Jordan of tomorrow. You can be the Prado or whatever, the designers. I said, those guys, they didn't wake up one day. There's something they did to get to where they are today. I said, no name. I'd say, why can't they have that kind of mentality and quality of mindset to bring themselves up to that level? You know what I mean? So
we're talking about brand, if you want to be honest. We're talking about brand, and I know this is a little bit of a tangent, but I'm going to go there anyway. If we're talking about brand, a lot of these brands that we consider luxury have taken their branding from us, right? From our prints, from our things. So you're naming a valid point in the sense of each of them is a Jordan in their own right. Each of them is a Gucci. Each of them is a Louis Vuitton. Each of them is this, right? They're already that today. So definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so that's so, and I always like to connect with other community other than Nigeria because I believe we can learn from ourselves. There's something I learned from Gwinnett, and I proudly say it. She knows that we have to unite and build. And if we as community don't get to that point, that I don't have to envy my brother, I don't have to envy my sister. If he or she is doing something great, let me support, let me rally around them, let me put my weight behind them in whatever way I can to get it going. And that's why we are taking for granted all other in many other ways. So if we don't stand up for ourselves, if we don't take up our load by ourselves, nobody is going to help us to take up our load.
Yeah.
So we need to come together to say, oh, you're doing a great job, you're doing a great something. I need to put that with support. I don't have to envy. I don't have to think that, oh, she's not doing anything, I can do something better than her. No. And we have to come to that point. And I know we, the Nigerians, are always wanting, we always want to be in the forefront, but I said it's always better to do something with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Amazing. And don't forget, can we plug the event in? The
Yes,
event.
yes, yes. I was actually going to do that. You're reading my mind. All right.
Yeah, oh, you
So
can maybe leave the flyer on the site somewhere.
yeah, let's bring up the flyer one more time for those who have been listening. We thank you for your patience. We thank you for joining and hearing the conversation. But we're gonna bring up the flyer one more time. But yes, in the far corner, you see BE. Oh yeah, here it comes. All right. So if you have been watching and you want to be a part of this conversation and let your voice be heard, use the QR code on this flyer and sign up for the Thursday, December 4, 2025, from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at City Hall Atrium, 2 Wellington Street West. The Black Community Voice Consultation wrap up event will be happening. There will be some light refreshments. So speak up, shape your future. Speak up, shape your future. Speak up and shape your future. Okay. So make sure you use this QR code right here and you scan and you join and you are there to make sure that your voice is heard, because each one of your voices matter and will make a difference for not just today but the future of Brampton, not just Brampton but Ontario and Canada and the rest of the globe. So on behalf of Love Bay Radio and the Champions Table, I just want to personally thank each and every one of you trailblazers and champions for doing the work in the community to ensure that the voices of the community are heard and that you are collaborating with the constituents in Brampton and in this country to ensure that these policies are in place. I mean, if we fast forward, right, we take this information and we use these to create policies and laws that will empower our people in the future so that they can accomplish their dreams and be successful in this country. So I thank you. I salute you all for the work that you're doing. And we just thank everybody for joining us today. Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts from anyone?
Yes, I just want to leave the youths with 4 C's.
Yeah.
Be committed. Have courage in what you're doing. Collaborate with each other. And most importantly, have consistency. That is what I want to leave with the youths today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you again.
Yeah.
And I just gotta close up here as rep for the BEU Black Empowerment Unit, Black Economic, Social, Cultural, Youth, and Civic Development Unit at the City of Brampton, wanting to thank our awesome Mayor Patrick Brown for his leadership and all that he's done to make sure that we included in the processes that will help further our community. Very, very important. I also want to remind our community that, listen, we are the salt of the earth. And do not forget your greatness. Do not forget your contribution to this world. Many may see us as insignificant, but we know better. And we're here to remind you that we are kings and queens, that we are here to take our place, make a difference, and be that light and that hope that we represent, not only just here in Canada, but around the world. So be inspired, make something of your life, and understand that you have purpose, and understand that you have a very, very special responsibility to make sure that the next generation and the generation to come will be successful. We will be relentless. We will not give up. We will not give in. We will continue to push forward, uniting as an awesome community, and make sure that we continue to be the light, not just only of the community, but the light of the world. And remember, God loves using the humble, the meek, the left behind, the dejected, the rejected, and all dejected. He uses those people, those communities, and he makes them and turns them into David against Goliath. So we have work to do. This is a time for us to unite, love each other, be our biggest supporters, cheerleaders. Now is the time to step forward and really show who we are when we talk about a resilient people, when we talk about Adam and Eve, when we talk about the dynasties, the things that we've done, the inventions that we've done, then we made, and so on and so on. Listen, I could spend a whole 2 hours just talking about what we have going on. What I want us to understand, this is our time. There's no moment like today, like now. This is our moment. This is your moment to make a difference. Leadership is in line. We have the wind behind our backs. Let's make change, and let's continue to shine and pull ourselves together and love each other. Let's learn to forgive each other, and understand the power of forgiveness. The power of forgiveness, which we need. Okay? So love you all. Thank you for the work that you do. And if anything, I hope you're inspired by all these amazing, iconic people that continue to pour into you, that they say, we love you and we're never giving up. All these trailblazers, they're sick, they're tired, but they're still getting up there and doing their little part. Like Marjorie and many other people said, Zanina Conde and Jean Augustine, I will continue to love you, to give, to help wherever I can, whenever I can, even though I'm not feeling well. I'm here because I love you. Until the day I die, I will continue to support my community. Love you all. See you on December the 4th at City Hall.
Yes,
Brampton
man.
City Hall.
Thank you, thank you, thank you all. Thank you, champions. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Love Bay Radio family, for listening. And we look forward to seeing you on December 4th. Yes, definitely sign up. And as we say on every champions table, men talk, women talk, but the truth can't lie, and the truth will set you free. Have an amazing evening. God bless. Talk to you soon.
Keep up the great work. Love you too.
Thank you.
Peace,
Shout out
peace.
to Janice as well.